In 1987, the Denver Broncos traveled a road that can't be located on any map. 27 other NFL teams began the same journey, but only 2 would remain at the end of the road, to the Super Bowl.
One time.
In one of history's most unusual seasons, unheralded teams emerged to shine, while much of the old power elite began to fade. But the Denver Broncos remained steady and on course. They traveled with style and class on their road to the Super Bowl.
Every season and every game, men united in a single aim. All our heroes in a seasoned story, men with guts, moments of glory, a test of strength and a test of pride, a test of spirit deep inside. Teams united in a single name, of battle burning when the victories play. It's a long, hard road to every goal. It's a long, hard road, I know. If you hit that road with all your soul, now you're on the road to the Super Bowl.
The Denver Broncos approach pro football's biggest game with an intense resolve to complete a mission they began a year ago, to return to the Super Bowl and emerge as world champions. And on their first snap from scrimmage, it appeared this would be a mission accomplished. The Broncos caught lightning in a jar with the quickest score in Super Bowl history. Denver dominated the first quarter like a team possessed. The Broncos boldly pulled out all the stops as John Elway became the first quarterback to catch a pass in a Super Bowl, and their lead grew to 10 points. But suddenly, the magic was gone. This was not the same Denver team that battled the odds all season long, a team that won with wit and grit. Washington scored 6 unanswered touchdowns to send shockwaves through the Colorado Rockies. Never in team history had one game so profoundly failed to capture the essence of the Denver Broncos. A team that was tough when it had to be, at times courageous, and certainly exciting. A team that took their first steps toward a return to the Super Bowl back in September. This magical yet bizarre season began on opening day. The Broncos quickly fell behind the visiting Seahawks 17-7 before the Denver defense stiffened and did not allow another point the rest of the game. John Elway and the Bronco offense responded by scoring on their next 5 possessions. A 72-yard scoring pass to Steve Sewell was the longest of Elway's career. Number 7 went on to throw touchdown passes of the common variety to Steve Watson and Orson Mobley, number 89. And a final one with the imagination and flair that has become a Bronco trademark.
Gets the handoff and shovels it back on the flea flicker to Elway, and here it comes long for Vance Johnson. Open. 15, 5, touchdown, Vance Johnson.
Vance Johnson's touchdown registered as 78 on the crowd decibelity meter as the Broncos cruised to a resounding 23-point win that proved they were not quite ready to concede their top billing in the AFC West. A week later in Milwaukee, all head coach Dan Reeves looked for was someone to put the ball in play so his defending AFC champions could quickly dispose of the lowly Green Bay Packers. But when the rains came in Wisconsin, the Broncos' bright outlook was washed away with a 3-hour lesson in humility. 6 Denver turnovers helped leave the two teams tied. But in the muck, the mud, and the mire, the Broncos still had the chance to win in overtime.
Ball is down. The kick on the way by Carlos, and it is no good.
Denver's expected landslide turned into a mudslide as the Broncos slipped out of first place in the AFC West for the first time since 1985. 2 weeks later, there appeared an unfamiliar sight in Mile High Stadium: empty seats. The ill-fated players' strike of 1987 became a reality. Just 38,000 curiosity seekers materialized to see a hastily assembled team of replacement players give little indication that they could hold their own in games that counted in league standings. The Oilers sacked Denver quarterbacks 5 times and intercepted 3 passes, including one by the unforgettable Eugene Seal, whose 73-yard touchdown return punctuated a 30-point Houston win. The next week, the largest crowd of any replacement game witnessed a startling turnaround.
Mitchell's an H-back. Massey in motion from the right. At the 8-yard line, pitch Dudek, starts right, follows a block, the 5 to the end zone. Joe Dudek scores his first Bronco touchdown, spikes the ball.
Joe Dudek, cut in the preseason, ran for 128 yards and 2 touchdowns, while Denver's defense forced 5 Raider turnovers on 2 fumble recoveries and 3 interceptions.
Archer counts, takes the snap and drops, looks and throws. And
a third-quarter scoring strike to Rich Massey helped pound the Raiders by 16. And the momentum generated in this game carried over in Kansas City, as quarterback Ken Karcher's Midas touch struck more gold against the Chiefs. Karcher threw for 275 yards and 3 touchdowns, the longest a 35-yarder to Shane Swenson, who set a single-game team record with 290 all-purpose yards. The win made it 2 out of 3 for the replacement squad. Most important, the 2 wins would prove critical in the final analysis on the Broncos' road to the Super Bowl. Finally, the players' strike was tentatively settled, and the curtain came up on the Bronco regulars under the dome in Minnesota. The game held its share of both good and bad for the Broncos. An Elway to Johnson scoring pass helped Denver to a 17-14 lead at the half, while the defense made a lasting impression on Viking receivers. 5 times the Broncos intercepted Minnesota quarterback Wade Wilson, yet they failed to capitalize in return. But the real downside of the game occurred when Gerald Wilhite, number 47, en route to the end zone, was hauled down from behind and broke a foot that would sideline him for the season. Meanwhile, Minnesota raced ahead 34-17 on the strength of a Leo Lewis touchdown catch and 3 scores by rookie D.J. Dozier. In effect, the Vikings had laid waste to a Denver defense that had 8 starters either playing new positions or were just plain new.
The overall character of the team has changed. We've got a lot more younger players, maybe a little bit more aggressive, but less experienced. So you see, I think we fly around a little bit more, but make a few more mistakes.
It's a young man's game, and you're going to have some changes where guys decide to retire, and that's basically what happened to us on defense. Hopefully, we've got some people that are going to step in and replace those people, and we won't drop off as far as our performance is concerned.
There was no drop-off in Week 8 against the visiting Detroit Lions. The revived Bronco defense held Detroit to just 68 yards on the ground and 128 through the air. At the same time, the offensive unit ran the Lions ragged with 460 total yards. Gene Lang took one John Elway pass 29 yards to set up a scoring play to Vance Johnson.
John into the pocket, is going to run out to the left side, fires it downfield at the 9-yard line. Johnson. Vance to the 5, Vance for a touchdown.
Elway then chipped in a pair of running touchdowns as the Broncos recorded their first shutout since September of 1984. The man primarily responsible for the year-in and year-out resiliency of the Bronco defense is one Joe Collier, who in 19 years in Denver has served under 5 head coaches. Collier was a head coach himself in the 60s, when defense was still a dirty word. But when he moved to Denver in 1969, all that changed. As the Broncos' defensive coordinator, Collier taught fans to appreciate defensive excellence as piece by piece, he built his ultimate creation. They were called the Orange Crush, and in 1977, they carried the Broncos to their first Super Bowl. Collier helped pioneer the newly styled 3-4 defensive alignment, which added speed and flexibility to the traditional 4-3. But above all, quickness and versatility have remained the cornerstones of Joe Collier's philosophy of defense.
You get as many people as you can to the ball carrier. You have good team pursuit and try not to lose your discipline. You just can't allow cracks to open up and give them the opportunity to run.
I think our basic philosophy is still the same because the coordinator is the same. Joe Collier is a genius when it comes to putting together defenses. Joe Collier tends to adjust his defense to his personnel.
The Broncos have placed 26 defenders on Pro Bowl rosters in the past 10 years, and 8 of them have lasted a decade or longer under Collier. By fashioning his system to the specific talents of players like Tom Jackson, number 57, Collier has enabled his people to thrive under the best and worst of conditions. This season has been an especially challenging one for Collier. His unit has thrived on guile and quickness while usually giving away a substantial size advantage. Still, Collier continues to develop new stars like Ricky Hundley, number 98, who came out swinging against Buffalo. However, the Broncos landed precious few punches, while the Bills found new and different ways to deck the Broncos. Incredibly, the Bills blocked not 1, but 2 punts for safeties on a day when the Broncos hardly resembled a team capable of returning to the Super Bowl. The loss left Denver at 4-3-1. The next day, the Broncos had a team meeting that would alter the course of the season.
The loss in Buffalo was humiliating, not in the fact that we lost to the Bills because they're a good football team, but I think more the matter of the way we played. We played with no enthusiasm. It's like we were out there going through the motions, and we had a team meeting after that game, and we just said, hey, your life in this game is too short not to go out and enjoy every Sunday and have fun playing football.
We just felt like our backs were to the wall at that point, and the whole theme of the meeting was we had to be tougher. We had to be more aggressive in what we were doing.
I think that was basically what that meeting did for us. It got the intensity back.
The key thing that was said was we got to stop being nice.
You know, we cannot get back to the Super Bowl playing the way we played last week against Buffalo. And we had a big game coming up against Chicago Bears. And if we lost that game, it would be almost over. We know what we got to do. And we're just going to have to go out and get the job done.
If we're going to be world champions, we got to start somewhere. This right here. We got to come out the cellar. We got to come out for 60 minutes. Dogfight. Ready?
The Bears, however, were top dogs at the start. 2 Jim McMahon touchdown passes, one a 51-yarder, quickly put the Broncos in a 14-0 hole. After an Elway to Johnson scoring toss pulled the Broncos within 7, Denver was faced with the dubious task of stopping the NFL's largest running back.
Forehand in motion to the left side. McMahon takes, gives to Perry off the left side, fights for the end zone, and down he goes. A fumble on the play. The Broncos say they've got it in the end zone.
Before Bears coach Mike Ditka was done throwing a fit, the Broncos had posted 2 more scores to go up by a touchdown at halftime.
No way to throw it toward the end zone. Mark Jackson, touchdown! Elway running up in the pocket, throwing it toward the end zone. The teal is open.
In the third quarter, the momentum swung Chicago's way when the Bears rang up 15 unanswered points to go back on top, 29-21. However, the fourth and final period was all Broncos. A Rich Carlos field goal trimmed the lead to 5 before a scrambling John Elway eluded a fierce Bears rush to direct Denver's final scoring drive of the night.
Tight end. They're in the formation where Studdard is an eligible receiver. They have Mitchell in motion. Pitch the ball to Sewell. Steve running to the right. He leaps. He scores! Steve Sewell just decided to go over the top.
Ahead 31-29 with 5 minutes left to play, it was up to the Denver defenders to hold the Bears in check.
Get fired up. Keep flying around. Things will start going our way.
Under, Saracen, tackle, pitch, free zone, ready, pull.
This is a unit that gets much of its inspiration from defensive end Rulon Jones, an intense leader who has survived 8 seasons in pro football's trenches by understanding and enjoying his punishing work.
I enjoy the physical nature of it. It's fun. It's a way to let your emotions kind of run wild, and yet, you know, it's legal. So.
Reverse! Reverse!
It's really just a controlled brawl. And young in my career would tend to get caught up more in the brawl than the actual what I was supposed to be doing.
2, 1, you're coming around. Both us tense and you're coming around. That's a great play, baby. That's a beautiful play. Yes!
The thing that I found in my play is the intensity level has to be above and beyond the other ball players. When you line up on the line of scrimmage there, I have a certain territory that is mine, and you do everything you can to send that type of message that, hey, you're not going to run back this way again, or you're not going to want to.
Over the final 5 minutes, Chicago never crossed into Denver territory. And for Rulon Jones and the Broncos, the stretch run and their road to the Super Bowl began on this Monday night in November. Now the finish line and the AFC West title was within their reach. The next hurdle, Los Angeles, where the Raiders felt the heat of the Broncos' rekindled desire. Quarterback Mark Wilson was knocked to the Coliseum turf 6 times, while Denver's undersized offensive line never let up on Raider pass rushers. The Broncos did, however, suffer a lick or two themselves. The Raiders' Major League outfielder, running back Bo Jackson, took his hobby seriously enough to sting the Broncos for what could have been a confidence-shattering touchdown run. But it was not to be, for there was plenty of pride and poise on the Denver side as well. Receivers Ricky Nattiel and Vance Johnson were the big playmen. And along with 3 Rich Carlos field goals, Denver dealt the Raiders their 7th consecutive defeat, their worst scheme in 25 years. For the 2nd straight week, the Broncos did not let a larger-than-life play become an obstacle in their road to the Super Bowl. In L.A., it was Bo Jackson blowing through the Broncos secondary. In San Diego, it was Chargers safety Vency Glenn blowing by everyone. After picking off a John Elway pass in his own end zone, Glenn returned the ball an NFL record 103 yards for San Diego's only lead. It was Elway's 14th career interception against the Chargers, along with just 2 touchdown passes. But he more than made up for it in one afternoon. Working primarily out of the shotgun offense, Elway responded by passing for 347 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Elway takes the snap, throws quickly, it's caught for a touchdown.
In a game that saw the Broncos climb to within a half game of first place, Elway got more than a little help from his friends, a trio of wide receivers who are arguably the league's best, all of them as fleet of foot as they are sure-handed. Back in September, they were simply Mark Jackson, Vance Johnson, and Ricky Nattiel. By December, they were known as the Three Amigos.
I think it was after the Bears game when each of us scored the touchdown that it really kicked off. And anything that you can do at the end of the year to make the game a little more exciting, you know, a new twist to make it fun, maybe to get your mind off of how tired you are, I think that helps. With Ricky, Vance, and myself, we're all similar type. We have similar styles, I guess you could say. And I think because of that, we're able to relate a lot better. And we're all young. We hang out a lot together, and when we're on the field, I think it's a real good thing, a real good competition that we have between us that encourages us to excel.
Their combined numbers are not overwhelming, but when the Three Amigos ride together on the same field, defenders only wish they were south of the border. The Three Amigos, along with 42 other Denver Broncos, were instrumental in the Week 13 come-from-behind win over the New England Patriots. Denver trailed at the half 17-3 as New England dominated both sides of the line of scrimmage. Then the roof fell in on the Patriots.
3 wide receivers in Collins. Fryer in motion from the right. Hand the ball to Fryer. He drops the ball. It is loose and picked up by the Broncos inside the 50.
Irving Fryer's fumble opened the floodgates, and the Bronco points came pouring through. Along with a pair of touchdown passes, John Elway further showcased his wealth of skills and found a new way to help win. Elway's quick kick out of the shotgun formation was downed at the 5 and nailed the Patriots' backs against the wall.
2nd and 5. Ramsey in the end zone. Throws toward the far side. Intercepted. Haynes. 10, 5. Touchdown.
Haynes' touchdown sealed the Broncos' 4th win since their turnaround team meeting in early November and moved them up another notch in their race for number 1. The last time the Broncos traveled to Seattle, they were beaten badly 41-16. This trip, they were simply beaten. Kurt Warner ran for 1 score, and quarterback Dave Craig threw for 3 more. The Broncos played catch-up, but never quite caught up, despite 2 touchdowns by Sammy Winder and 1 by Rick Massey via John Elway.
Elway's pass up the middle for Massey. Touchdown!
Another roadblock in the Broncos' road to the Super Bowl? No, just another detour that Elway has guided the Broncos through and around in his years with Denver. Not only has Elway mastered the physical and mental skills of his position, he has come to terms with the intangibles that have made him a leader as well.
Set hot! Red 98! Red 98! Hot!
After 5 years in the NFL, John Elway has become the most versatile and dangerous weapon in pro football.
Well, there's no doubt. I think the thing that separates him from anybody else are his physical abilities.
Red 28!
I've never seen a guy who could take a busted play and turn it into more big plays than he can, and I think that's what separates him from the rest. His ability is as good as anybody's, but his ability to improvise is better than anybody's.
You always have to hustle with John because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if you give him that extra little second or two what he's going to do with it. If you do make a mistake or somebody breaks through and you have an opportunity to go back and get an extra block, then you're going to work your hardest to do that.
You can see it in any of the game films. When he starts scrambling, it's just like he just pulls away from everyone else, and he can zig and zag back across the field. You can't catch him and protect him. So while he's going back and forth across the field, you just try and go in a straight line down the field so you'll be in the general vicinity.
Elway confounds a defense with daring escapes that would have made Houdini proud. And the strength of his arm is the stuff of legend.
John's arm is incredibly strong, I'm telling you. He can probably throw the ball over 60 miles an hour.
We have what we call a Judd's machine. It's like a tennis ball machine or a baseball machine that shoots the ball out. Well, this one shoots out footballs, and you can crank it up to like 80. We caught on that just the other day to try to simulate John's speed because there's no way that you can catch from another quarterback or from a coach and get the same effect. He sort of gets you to catch the ball with your hands more, too, because of the concentration factor of the speed of the ball. And then you know if you're going to catch it on your body, get ready for some pain because they could literally stick to you. You probably wouldn't even have to catch it. So. During practice, Jeremiah could still went up to try to pick off one of John's balls and broke one of his fingers. And you could act with Ricky Nattil, who has a broken thumb on the team.
Butch Johnson, he said he threw the ball to him so hard one time that during practice that when the ball stuck, it left a little X in his chest.
Since his much heralded arrival in 1983, John Elway has developed the confidence to match his abundant physical talent, a quality that keeps Denver in virtually every game they play.
When you have great quarterbacks that have great arms, you're never out of a football game. And John has tremendous confidence in his ability now because he's come through in so many tough situations to win football games for us. Not only does he have confidence, but the confidence of your whole offensive and defensive team.
Let's go! Let's go!
You know, if everyone looks in the eyes of the quarterback and sees that he feels good about what they're doing, then, you know, it's going to pick everybody else up.
Spread black left slot. Spread black left slot 62. Option left shoot in on one-on-one. Hurry up!
So there's no question in my mind that the level of the confidence of the quarterback is going to have a lot to do with how you play offensively.
98, hot!
It didn't appear that the Broncos' level of confidence would be reduced in a Week 15 meeting with the last-place Kansas City Chiefs. Both Gene Lang and Sammy Winder helped Denver forge a 17-3 halftime lead. But after intermission, the Chiefs exploded. Herman Hurd raced 64 yards for the Chiefs' longest rushing touchdown since his 69-yarder in 1984, as Kansas City refused to disappear into the Denver night. After a Denver field goal, Stephon Page's fourth quarter score cut the Broncos' lead to 20-17. And with 34 seconds remaining, kicker Nick Lowry got the chance to send the game into overtime. Lowry missed the 37-yard attempt to preserve Denver's slim victory. Certainly the win was not a pretty one, but it was functional in clinching at least a wild card berth in the playoffs. The Broncos had now won 5 of their last 6. One more victory would assure them of their second straight division title, and what better place to clinch it than in a winter wonderland known as Mile High Stadium. And for visiting San Diego, there was no worse place to play a streaking Bronco team. It gets hotter as the weather grows colder, and Denver was boiling from the start.
Gets out near the 40, and still spinning to the right on his feet at the 40-yard line. He's across the 50.
Fighting frigid blizzard conditions, K.C. Clark's punt return warmed the hearts of the 37,000 fans in attendance.
K.C. Clark returns it to the end zone for a touchdown. 70-plus yard punt return by K.C. Clark, and the Broncos take a 6-0 lead.
It was that rare opportunity to see two teams not only battle each other, but the elements as well. Both sides were affected, but in the end, the conditions brought out the best in the Broncos. Ricky Hundley's 52-yard interception return for a touchdown clinched the AFC West title for the Broncos, and with it the home field advantage throughout the playoffs. It was a testament to Coach Dan Reeves, who in the last 4 years has led the Broncos to 4 of the 5 best records in franchise history.
You know, I'm still learning. I'm still growing as a coach. I think you'll constantly continue to do that. It's just like I talked to John about growing as a quarterback and learning each day as a quarterback. I think you continue to do that as a head coach.
For Dan Reeves, the road to becoming the winningest coach in Denver Bronco history began back in 1965 as a free agent running back with the Dallas Cowboys. Reeves, number 30, was a gritty, tough runner who squeezed yards and touchdowns out of plays that didn't have any yards or touchdowns in them. After 8 seasons as one of the NFL's most versatile backs, Reeves joined the Cowboys coaching staff.
We'll trap this guy way over here. Your halfbacks cut inside of me now. Head for you.
In 1981, Reeves became Denver's head coach and began to build the team in his own image. The Broncos have won the Western Division title 4 times in the last 5 years, with a style that reflects the fiercely competitive nature of their head coach.
Dan is one of the most competitive people I've ever met at anything, whether it been at cards, whether it been at backgammon, whether it been at racquetball. He was one of the most competitive guys I've ever known, and that's why he's won. And that's why he'll continue to win, because it's important to win. It's important to be the best to him.
Hates to lose. You know, he's like 2 different people. When you're winning, you know, he's a good person to be around, but you know, when you lose a few games, he's not the person that you want to get close to. You know, you feel the vibes, you know, and you don't want to face him after losing a couple games in a row.
Last year, he had a bet with John Elway in one of the games, and I guess they were betting each other on who would lose their temper first. And I think Dan said something to the effect, do you want that in cash or a check?
Just the other day, I dropped a pass, and Dan really got on me. He doesn't want you to fumble. He doesn't want you to drop the balls. You know, I don't think Dan ever fumbled in his life.
Well, he's never fumbled as a head coach, and so I think it's a lot easier for him to get upset with those fumbles.
Dan is a very demanding coach. I think that he's the type of guy that he wants to see every guy on his team become the best football player that he can possibly be.
He's done a lot of things personally to help me through some of the rough times I've had while I've been here. And as far as speaking of the manual, I can't say enough about him, and I'd do just about anything I could for him.
It's Dan's life and his love. If he was not paid to do this, he would probably pay someone so he could.
Good afternoon from Mile High Stadium. Bob Martin and Larry Zimmer as the Denver Broncos start their playoff action against the Houston Oilers. The Broncos come into the game with the best record in the AFC. Despite all of the injuries, the strike interruption, and the rest of the distractions, the Broncos find themselves with as good a chance as anybody to go to and win the Super Bowl.
We're 30 minutes away now from that next step. Let's don't let up to one play now. Let's go hard all the time.
Before the big gunfight scene at the Mile High Corral ever got started, the Oilers shot themselves in the foot with a play they call the stagger lead.
It is fumbled at around the 1-yard line, and the Broncos have recovered the ball at the Oiler 1. Strange attempted play. Boone lobbed the ball back toward Rozier at the end line, and he swatted the ball down. Wilson.
Some said the play was crazy, risky, and dumb, but it was in the game plan designed to get the Oilers out of the end zone. Instead, it got the Broncos into the end zone. Houston head coach Jerry Glanville didn't have much time to second-guess himself. 6 plays later, Houston's second turnover led to Denver's second touchdown.
First down at the 20. And Boone again to throw. This time the pass is intercepted at the 10-yard line. Mecklenburg across the 20, out to the 25, still going, out to the 28-yard line. Away backs, throws it, looking for Kay in the end zone. Touchdown! Fingertip catch. Clarence Kay has his first touchdown reception of the season as he beat Keith Bostic. Elway to Kay, 27 for the score, and the Broncos lead 13-0.
Before the half was out, Kay caught his second scoring pass to help earn the Broncos a 21-point halftime lead. The Oilers did very little damage to the Broncos on the scoreboard. However, in the third period, an ugly incident did more than a little damage to Vance Johnson. A late hit by the Oilers' John Grimsley put the Three Amigos head honcho out of the game and added more fuel to the Broncos' fire as they delivered a few legal blows of their own.
Elway rolling to the right, and he can run. He's at the 5. Elway scored!
As the sun set in the west, John Elway closed out the scoring, and the Broncos became the first team of the 80s to repeat as AFC champions.
We got a lot of things to be thankful for. We got to get ready to play a big game next week. You know, all I've talked about, heard about is revenge and all that stuff. We'll go with our regular schedule now. We'll come in tomorrow like a normal Monday. We'll be off on Tuesday, come back in on Wednesday. Okay, but a great job. Let's hit a knee.
It had been 1 full year since the Broncos last faced the Cleveland Browns. For 1 full year, the memory of Denver's Sunday drive in last year's AFC Championship game has haunted Bernie Kosar and the Browns. Clearly, there was a revenge factor involved, and Cleveland had all the motivation they needed to erase that bitter memory. It was a showdown of classic proportions. It was an afternoon to remember, a game for the ages.
Bring on the dogs and their angry crowds to the best fans in the league. And when they went back to Cleveland, we'll be cheering them on when they leave. Yeah! One play at a time, at 60 minutes, our football. Let's go.
Okay? Yep. All right, let's bust their ass. One, two, three,
In every season's quest for fame, men united with a single aim. Meet the challenge of every goal, then set their hearts on the Super Bowl. A test of strength and a test of pride, a test of spirit deep inside. A team united in a single name, a battle burning with victory's flame.
Four wide receiver set as Kosar backpedals. Firing, caught by Slaughter over the middle. It's hot loose and intercepted by the Broncos.
And Elway drills the pass.
Fingertip catch, touchdown, making the tailback of the end zone.
First and goal at the 2. They give it to Sewell on the end around, coming left to Steve. Sewell will score. You guys are coming apart.
We on our way, baby. We on our way. They hand off to Biner. Kosar to throw. Now steps up in the pocket. Loops it for Biner, who got it at the 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Browns. Here's Elway retreating to the 9-yard line. In trouble. Dancing around. Breaks free. Firing. It is caught by Jackson at the 25. Breaks a tackle. Gets a first down at the 35, 40, 45, 50. He's going for a touchdown.
Body graceful, body proud. Stand tall to the waves and the roar of the crowd. Body steel and body stone. Never victory to call your own. Another chance to win it all. Another rise and another fall. Though for some the glory has gone, and yet for others the dream lives on.
Well, it's a championship finish. Second down, 5 at the 8. Kosar to Biner. Biner trying to slip left at the 5. He's at the goal line. Biner loses the ball. Denver recovers the fumble.